Hello, hello. I'm going to pull back our music a little bit more here. Cool. All right, I see us. I think I hear us. Then give me one more sound check, please. Can you say something?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, perfect. Yep, I hear you. Yep, we're good. All right, so we should be good to start. Yeah, chat room, cool tunes today. Hey, just cheering things up. It's actually a station called Happy. It's meant to get you happy, right? So, thanks for hanging out with us, Ivana. All right, and yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us here at Coded Live. As you know, this is a channel where we talk about a lot of things throughout the week. Mondays we normally do CMS, although I didn't do this Monday. We did other stuff. We did interviews and we did podcasts. Wednesdays are for React and UI. Thursdays are for Xamarin and .NET, and Fridays are chat shows. But today is Tuesday. Today is a fun day because we get to do VR stuff in Unity. Right, so it should be a lot of fun. My name is Sam Basu. I am a dev advocate at Progress Software, and with me I have my good friend Deyan Yosifov. Hello, Deyan. How are you?
Hello, thank you. I'm fine, Sam.
So Deyan is also in the same team as Panat. You are used to seeing Panat every week. He's on vacation, and Deyan is very graciously filling in for Panat. I mean, we can really have either of you. So Deyan, you have been. How long have you been developing in Unity?
Well, I am part of the VR team in Progress for about 2 years, maybe now.
2 years now.
2 years. Yes.
Yes, I knew nothing about Unity when we decided to start like the Unity Tuesdays, and for like the first 4 or 5 weeks, like I was learning, and it's incredible, like the things we can do with physics and locomotion and lighting. So Pana actually sat through a lot of the struggles that I had, like trying to write scripts to do things in Unity, and so that was fun. It was a good learning experience for me. But we have switched gears, and we are actually building something that we want to use later on in this year. So we have a big conference called DevReach that we host in EU and in the US. But again, this year is going to be different. We do have some really awesome plans, which we will announce in a bit. But one aspect of it is we are thinking we'll have a little bit of a social interaction in VR, where people can strap on their Oculus or whatever VR devices or mixed reality devices they have. This is Unity, right? So it runs everywhere, and they'll be able to, like, after the main day of the conference, we'll be able to all kind of hang out in VR. So that's where we are, and then looks like you and Pana are sharing a GitHub repo, and we are starting off exactly where we left off last week.
Yes, exactly. Panayot shared me his private repo, so
All right.
now I see what you have done this week.
All right, so folks, Dan is going to be driving today. I know very little about this stuff, and these two are the experts, so I'm just going to sit back and ask dumb questions as we go along. But here's where we started. We started a brand new Unity project, and we laid out some flooring and some mesh and some ways in which we can have two different colors of flooring and some texture. And then Pana and me spent a lot of time last week with lighting, because lighting is tricky to get it done. So we have those ceiling lights that you see on top, and they're casting shadows in the right places. And there are like two of those like floor lamps on either side. And then we have some ping pong, some table tennis, because this is essentially replicating our offices in Sofia, Bulgaria, which I absolutely love. And I don't know, like, they're like, are you missing the office?
Yes, when I see this model you have managed to done,
Yeah, we have.
It really reminds me of the 7th floor where we can place table tennis and darts and so on when we want to relax.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, I absolutely love that office, and the seventh floor is just beautiful because you have game rooms, you have ping pong, you have other types of board games, and it opens up into a beautiful balcony, and actually you see like the Vitosha Mountains in the background. It's just beautiful. So I'm definitely, even though I don't work in the office, I'm definitely missing out going to that office. So. Then I've talked enough. Over to you. And what are we planning on doing today?
I have looked this model and what we have done.
Yep.
In order to summarize a bit, we have some environment here in the scene window. I can use the right mouse button in order to look around, and when I hold this mouse button, I can also use W, A, S, and D buttons on the keyboard in order to move, just like in a shooter game. So we can see that you have set up this part of this floor. There is more work, but still it is enough maybe for now. So my idea for today was to add some interactions. Currently, when we press play, here we got some errors because the VR device is currently not attached. I'm going to attach my VR device in a second
Nice.
in order to test what happens. But even with the VR device, currently we cannot move in this scene in the game window. So I would like to be able to move around in order to get closer to different objects. And then when we implement this movement in the virtual space, I plan to implement some hand presence. Currently, I will run the VR now in order to show, but we have just two cubes instead of hands, so we can't do much with them. And I would like to add some virtual hands. So when you press the grip button of the VR controller, so here is a grip button where you can press it with the middle finger, let's say. Then this closes the hand in the VR. So I would like to implement this logic and also add some grabbable objects in the scene. For instance, I may add a table tennis racket, so we can take the racket and take a ball and try to play some single-player tennis.
Sure. Yeah, so
this is my plan for today.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Just like for context, like both of us actually have the Oculus Quest. So it does have very nice controllers, but it can also trace your hand while you're doing it, like with your fingers.
Yes. Well, yes. For now, I will use the controller.
Okay.
However, we can always add the hand tracking. What it requires is the Oculus integration. So with the latest versions of Unity, Unity allows us to write VR cross-platform code without having to download the heavy assets such as Oculus integration, which is more than a gigabyte and contains a lot of stuff. But with the latest version of Unity, we can go here in Windows, Package Manager, and here we can see the XR Plugin Manager, Management plugin. So I will show the packages only in the project. And also we have installed an Oculus XR plugin. So these plugins are installed and uninstalled really quick within a second, while the whole Oculus integration takes more time in order to download those gigabytes of data. So for now, I will try to stitch to these plugins, and I don't want to use Oculus integration. However, if we decide further to add the hand tracking, we will need to download the whole Oculus integration. It may be found here, by the way, in the asset store. If I wait some time.
So I wanted to ask one thing. Like I think Pana and me talked about this before, like the XR plugin. When you do the interactions, is that Oculus specific since it's an Oculus plugin, or will it work on other mixed reality or VR devices as well?
No, actually, here is the Oculus integration. By the way, we
Yeah.
can download it, it's free and so on. But it takes a lot of memory.
I see.
So if we go to projects, we may see this XR plugin management. Here, it has some setup here. So we implement the logic with Unity base API without using something specific for Oculus. So
Okay.
in order to build it for different platforms, we just need to click some of these checkboxes here. So currently we have chosen Oculus because we have Oculus Quest, but if I have Magic Leap or Windows Mixed Reality VR headset, I just need to check this checkbox and build for this platform, and our application will be working on Windows Mixed Reality as well. So
Yeah.
it is really cross-platform, and Unity are making really great efforts in the latest releases to make it easy in order to avoid code duplication.
Yeah, no, I like what I see from Unity. I dropped the link to the XR plugin that we're using. Yeah. Now, let me ask you a really maybe a dumb question here. And I have not ever tried doing this. Like, if you take like this project and this view, and if you tried deploying this and looking at this from a mixed reality device, like how would it look like? Because I mean, are you like mixed reality still has some augmented reality, right? So you are able to see a little bit of the real world, or what are some of the other mixed reality devices doing nowadays?
Well, actually, I think it is more about the VR. Maybe it will work on the AR. Some I like HoloLens. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I haven't tested in. We have tested on mixed reality, Windows Mixed Reality, Samsung Odyssey. This is again a VR headset. It looks like Oculus Quest, which it's specific, but it is VR. It's not AR again. So it will be the same, just different brand.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
But it should work on an AR device as well. But I haven't tested with these plugins, so
Yeah.
I
No, I was just
can't
curious.
myself.
Yeah, I understand.
Yes,
And
I
I think
suppose
like
that it will work there as well.
yeah, I think only like
You will see the world behind me.
Right, right. Yeah, I think and only HoloLens is like the first gen, or I have not seen anybody have the second gen HoloLens yet. Maybe they're shipping it out to like specific customers, but like the first gen HoloLens, like that was unique because it was all AR. I mean, it wasn't really meant to be showing you mixed stuff, and then you could overlay. But I would guess like this experience is much better on a VR device because we want the textures to show like on the floor and on the tables.
Yes, it's different scenario. Well, AR is really interesting technology, and when it comes to combining the virtual world with the real world, so you want to annotate some stuff in the real world to help someone do his job, for instance, or
Yeah, yeah,
some other scenario. But when you want to immerse in the whole virtual world, VR is the place. So
yes, absolutely.
it's really a different scenario for now. Maybe in the future, not maybe, for sure, they will make a device that can be both VR and AR.
Right.
But for now, they're separate.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like the Quest that we have, like it does have like 6 cameras. So I mean, they could bring in like parts of the reality if they wanted to.
Well,
So
yes, it has 4 cameras, by the way.
yeah,
But yes, they have added recently with the recent updates of Quest this ability to implement kind of mixed reality experience.
yeah.
But the cameras on the Quest are grayscale, so
Yeah,
you cannot see colors
yeah. It's
on the real world.
black and white. Yes.
So
Yeah, yeah.
this is a limitation for now. Maybe Quest 2 will.
Yeah. in if you like turn on like developer settings, there's a thing where like you can tap on the right and then it shows you the feed from the cameras like as you're walking around in the room.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's do it. So what's the first thing you want to do? The controllers first and try to pick up something.
Well, I would like first to test that my VR headset is working today.
Sure, go for it.
So I will connect it now with the link cable. So we know that Quest is wireless, but when you develop, you can connect it with the cable
Yeah.
in order to debug easier, and you'll be able to see what I see in VR on the 2D screen. So let me. Okay. So
this is getting high tech. Like
a lot of headsets.
You have your headphones and then your VR.
Yes, I think that this VR is really useful for fitness, especially if you are training your neck, because it's really heavy.
It is. Yeah.
VR boxing is really realistic and good training for boxers. So yes, I was able to connect to Oculus Link. Now I'm going to play our application. So here am I, VR. Yes, I can maximize this window in order to see better.
No, I mean I see it just fine.
Okay, and when I get my controllers and get in front,
there you go.
We see that my hands are actually cubes.
No, how did that happen? Like we didn't do anything.
Well, I suppose Panayot done this previous time. I haven't watched the stream, but I can show you where the magic is.
Okay.
So let's stop the play. I will press to maximize on play every time. So here we have an XR rig. This comes from Oculus. We can right click here, and in the context menu you have an XR subgroup. So you can select to create such XR rig. Maybe Panayot created it this way. Then we have a camera offset. This is used to offset the camera vertically. So we have here an Y value, which is positive. So this is done because if we run it with the Quest, it tracks the floor level.
Right. Yeah.
It tracks your height because it has 6 degrees of freedom. However, not all VR devices have 6 degrees of freedom. For instance, Oculus Go cannot track your position in space. In order to make a similar experience in the same application, we need to manually increase the height of the user. This script comes by Oculus camera offset, and it automatically. Actually, here is the script camera offset on the XR rig, and it detects if the device supports height tracking. If it supports that, it doesn't touch this offset.
Okay.
However, if we are on a go, it will add it. It adds it also if we are on a desktop. So if I disconnect the VR headset and click play,
sure,
it will add this height as well. So here is the camera inside. There is a Trackpad Driver. This comes from Unity. It tracks currently the center eye, which is it has nothing with Cyclops, but just in VR, this term is the eye. If we suppose that there is eye between the two eyes, so the center eye is actually the position of the headset. So our main camera is moving with my head this way.
Yeah. And this is a big deal, like the head tracking thing. Like I remember like when the Quest first came out, this was a big deal that it was all inclusive and it had all the trackers in it. So you're saying like because the XR rig identifies that your VR device can do that, like it adds the camera offset by itself, or the other way
Yes,
around.
whenever we are with Quest, this camera offset doesn't do anything.
I see.
So
Okay.
the Quest uses this Trackpad Driver. Actually, our code uses this Trackpad Driver in order to get data from the Quest where our cat is moving
Gotcha.
space and facing. And now we come to the two controllers. Here is the left controller and the right controller. So here we may see that Panayot positioned one cube. Actually, the whole object is a cube. And we have again a trackball driver. This time it tracks a controller, not a device. And it tracks the left controller. So this is my left hand, and thanks to this cube mesh filter and this mesh renderer, we render a cube
Okay, I see.
instead of our hand.
Yeah, so this is why you had the cube to start off with, because I didn't remember
Yes.
like we had added the cubes for the left and right controller.
Yes, well, probably when these objects were created, Panayot simply create 3D object cube
Right.
and then add the controllers
Yep.
as the track. So this is our theme currently. However, I can move by moving in my actual room here, but it is limited first by the cable that I am connected. Second, I don't have much space at home. So we need to implement another way to move in VR. So usually the virtual space is much bigger than the actual space that you have. So you have to be able to move some other way.
Yeah, so this is the whole thing. Like when you first like set up a Quest, or like if you're resetting, if you're getting into something, like they'll ask you like, are you sitting or are you standing? Because if you're standing, they'll have you like chalk out the whole space in which you can move around. So they have a mesh that they identify the floor and the edges of what you can move around. And then if you're sitting, then they change it to locomotion, and you can move with your controllers, right?
Well, usually they both provide locomotion, but some games really adapt their space. So
Yeah.
If you draw a bigger guardian area where you can move in the actual space, the game provides a bigger level. It depends on the game. Some games don't do this, but there are games which adapt to the space you have at home.
Gotcha.
So
yeah.
At least they try to position the most important object that you have to reach with your hand to be closer to you. So even if you are sitting like me now in front of my laptop, I should be able to reach some important stuff.
Right, yeah. While we are going on though, Binary Chef, good to see you in the chat room. Hello, hello, aloha. So what's the first thing you want to do? Like you want to change the cubes into something else?
Well, it doesn't matter where we should start. Maybe we can start with the hands if you want, because maybe this is interesting how we can do this. So I was looking at some hand models yesterday. Actually, it turns out that Oculus provides free models. So if we download Oculus integration, we will be able if we download Oculus integration, we will be able to use Oculus avatars. However, I already told you that we'll try not to use it. So we'll try to download custom hands and implement this hand tracking by ourselves.
Yep.
So Oculus hands models, if we write this, we may find that Oculus actually provides the models.
This is nice.
Which are skinned hands. So if you move the fingers, rotate, they have knuckles, and you can simply rotate those points that they have recent position. The skin follows the rotation, so it doesn't look broken.
Yep.
So they're really nice to start with. I can download them. They have a license which is free, so you can use it free in your game or application with the term that you have to add their license under your license.
What is the license like?
Well, it generally says that you have to
Creative Commons, yeah.
The
care for the attribution, but otherwise you can use it however you want, really. Okay, all right.
You have to mention them if you add them in our project.
Yeah.
I have also found here. I found a YouTube video using these hands, and actually the person who was making this video has shared his GitHub repository and has said that we can take the hands from his repository because when we download them from Oculus, they are in Maya software format. So I would require to have Maya software on my laptop, and I don't have this software in order to convert the hands to FBX. So I will download the hands from this repository. We might see here also that the person who owns the repository has copied the license from Oculus because this is their condition.
Okay, what is an FBX file?
Well, this is a popular 3D modeling file.
Okay.
Almost every 3D modeling program allows you to export in this format, and we need it because this is the format that Unity uses for importing external models into Unity.
Okay.
So I suppose that the other models, such as the lamps, the tennis table, and so on, they look exactly like the ones in our office in Sofia. So I suppose that Pana you ought to get them from the architects or something and transform them to FBX file.
We did actually. So there are some videos and there are some assets we brought in.
Yes. So let's download these hands. I can
hang on for 1 second, if you may. Lance McCarthy, we love you. You know we love you, but thank you for subscribing with Prime. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right.
Okay, I'll copy this license as well because we will better add in our project as well. So here, let's see our project here. Here we have a folder called models. I'll create a subfolder which will be called hands. Here, let me see if I can. No, I can download it. I can create a file. Should be a TXT license. If you paste this information from Oculus, then I'll get in the downloads folder. We'll copy those.
Just bring in the FBX files.
Yes, and put them again in the hands folder. You may notice that whenever we add a file inside the assets folder, Unity, when we focus on Unity, it detects the new file and adds a file with the same name and add its new extension meta. So Unity this is the way Unity tracks the files in its project. So this allows you to add additional information over some existing file formats. For instance, if you have textures, you may add here some PNG file, for instance, or JPG, and then Unity will add the information it needs, whether this texture requires transparency, whether it is some mask or something else. So this is the way Unity handles external files.
And this took me a little bit by surprise, like when I was starting out learning. Like this is a departure like from other IDEs that we use for software dev, like Visual Studio. I mean, it can watch a folder, but it's not as proactive. It's very much like solution or like CS proj file driven, while Unity seems to be really focused on like watching the project structure and the files and folders in it.
Yes, it has its pros because, for instance, if I drag and drop some CS file or some other file from one package to another package, Unity moves its meta file with it, and it actually recognizes the file's identity based on this meta. So if we open some of the meta, we will notice that here there is a grid which is identifying this concrete file, the left hand. So every file is recognized based on these methods, and you don't lose links between the files when moving them in the project. So if you want to move a file manually, you have to move it with the meta as well. Otherwise, it will be as a new file and you lose its reference in the scene. Okay, so we have those hands.
I'm going to ask a odd question here. Like in the FBX files, like can you change like the texture of the hands and like the skin color? Or is it whatever the 3D model was? Because it's got to be made up of like some materials, right? And you should be able to change things in the material.
Yes, you import, well, it generally, what you can hardly edit is the mesh. You can edit it with some code, but usually the models are important because of the mesh. And they're also separated by materials. So if they are separated the way you want, you may be able to switch then the materials. So if you have two different materials, you may change them with yours to different materials. So it's not a problem. So we may import these hands now and make them blue, for instance, if you want to see this, how it works.
Sure.
Okay. So now I will add the left hand. Here, let me check. Okay, it looks fine.
So instead of the cube, we are just going to set it to the FBX. Like, I mean, does it know like it's a thing, it's a 3D model, and it can just associate that with the controller?
Currently, it is in our assets folder, and I need to add it to the scene. So I will drag and drop it here under the left controller, and it will become child of the left controller.
Gotcha.
So now I can move the right hand as well.
Yep.
And then maybe I can test what happens. See how these hands are positioned. I will save the scene and click play. Okay. So I have my controllers. I don't see my hands.
Yeah. No, I mean, there was a setting where it was the cube, right? Don't you have to reset that setting?
Let me check what happens. Maybe I will minimize those in order to check what's going on.
Like on the left controller, like what was the mesh setting? Like on the controller itself?
Yes, I will. Maybe I will hide this wider and the cube. And maybe we should be able to see them in the scene as well. Aha, I see. You see this tiny hand here inside the cube.
Yeah.
So the reason this is happening is because the cubes are usually 1 meter long in every dimension.
Yeah.
And Panayot has resized them to be 10 centimeters.
Yeah. So can't we now like get rid of the cube entirely?
Yes, I will remove now the cubes. So here is the box collider. I need to remove this component. Need to remove the mesh renderer. I need to remove the cube mesh filter as well. So
Yeah.
we have just the pose driver that will track our hand. However, the hands will still be too small because we have scaled them 10 times down. So I will reset the scale in order to make the hand with its original size. Let's make the same for the right hand. I'll remove the cubes.
While you're doing that, folks, if you're just joining us here in the chat room, this is Unity Tuesdays here at Code It Live, and we are building a small VR world where if you are going to like a virtual conference, you can hang out at the end of the day. And we are essentially trying to replicate our office in Sofia, which has a beautiful game room. So we're just trying to get some of that interaction going. And yep, there you go. There you go. I like it.
So I
like it.
However, they are a bit strange positioned. Currently, my hands, maybe they're seen on the camera, the real hand, are in the opposite direction. I mean, 90 degrees.
Yeah. But I mean, even like this to me is it's just great. I mean, you could literally grab a hand model and get to this point. This is great for me.
Yes. Well, maybe the next step is to position the hands so they look a bit more. So I can feel like they're in the real world. So here I see that the hand model is rotated 90 degrees compared to my hands. So here is the Z axis. So I will want to rotate the hands above the Z axis now. So here is the rotation. Let's make it 90 here.
Is Z upward?
No, usually the Y is upward.
Y is up and Z is going inside or outside.
Some horizontal. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's, Z is usually the forward direction. So
forward,
the camera
okay.
Z is the direction that the camera looks.
Yeah.
So I will move this hand. It requires minus 90 degrees. Okay. Let me check it now. So
better, looking better.
Great. Actually,
can you show your hands up on the camera? Like hold your hand up a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Yeah. Well, what Oculus says when you need to implement your custom hand is that when you test them, when you touch your hands in the real world, the virtual hand should be close to touching as well. So
and it is.
I'm currently touching my hands and I see them touching the same way in the VR. So I think they are just great.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Great.
Very nice. See, like to somebody who has not done game development, like this stuff is just so fascinating that you can do stuff like this.
Okay, and I now want to make the hands close the fingers. So whenever I want to grab something, I need to see that my hand is trying to grab it by closing the fingers. So this is the next thing I would like to do. So let me see. Maybe I will try to. I'm not sure if this is the right thing. If you have to done it really professionally, but I will try to use only the left hand, and we'll mirror it in order to get it on the right hand position.
I'm gonna try to get my controller and see like what you're dealing with. So, like, okay, so the Oculus controller, the Quest one. So you're saying like when you close, like, how is it going to know? Like you're still gripping it. It's just like as close as your fist will get, right?
Yes, here there is a finger called a button called the grip button, which is next to your middle finger actually.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
So when you close your fingers and grab the controller strongly,
Gotcha.
then this simulates closing the hand in
Yeah.
virtual space. So this is a common gesture and
Okay.
common way to grab objects in VR. So it's better to do it with this button.
We're looking at your browser and doing that effect of like going all in like meta.
Infinity. Yes.
Yeah, infinity. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I know you wanted to see what I was doing.
Yes, I wanted to see your
Yeah.
controller. Okay, I'll make a prefab from our left hand now in order to be able to reuse it and save all the changes I'll make to the fingers. So here we have in the assets folder a prefabs folder, and I'm going to drag and drop the left hand now. I'll base all the hands, so I'll make 4 hands, 2 open hands and 2 closed hands. So all of them will be based on this prefab. And this way I'll be able to change the color or move some finger, and it will be applied on the inheritors and the other prefabs.
But you said you're going to make 4 hands?
Yes, 2 left hands and 2 right hands, and I'm going to hide and unhide
Okay.
depending on whether the hand is open or closed.
Okay.
So the next step will be to duplicate. I can use Ctrl and D when selecting the left hand, and I'll make a copy of it. So here is, I'm moving it under the right controller. Let me see if I hide the left. So now I have the right and the left, and I would like to mirror the left. So this would be done by the x axis. I will use view scale -1, maybe.
Is there any like other way of doing it than like creating 4 hands?
Well, another way is to use separately the left and the right hand. Actually, I think the in Oculus avatars they are separately used. And if we want to apply more gestures, maybe it will be more easy to use animations in Unity. So we can animate the fingers, and we can move separately the fingers with animations, and based on how you put your fingers on the controller, there can be several poses. So for now I'll use only the grab pose, that's why I will use the two hands that will be switched on and off. But if I need to make more poses, maybe I will try to make some animations.
Sure.
This is easier for now, so
yeah, okay.
I'll try it this way. So it seems that the left and the right hand are positioned exactly, the mirrored left hand and the right hand. So this -1 here on the y-axis seems to be enough. So I will now delete the right hand here, and I will rename this prefab instance as right hand. Right here as well. So I will turn on the left hand, and I will make maybe a prefab variant here, because I have made some change to the original prefab in order to make it right hand, and I will make prefab variant. So Unity marks it a bit different. Prefabs are blue cubes, and variants have some lines here on the left side. So this will be called right hand. So let's make a quick test that it's still working as expected. I'll click play. So I have both hands and I can touch them as in the real world, which is great. So the next thing I would like to do is to
Okay, can I ask a super dumb question? I really should know this, but when you put on the Oculus and you have the controllers, what's the means of communication between the headset and the controllers?
Well, the headset has 4 cameras. Let me. So the headset has 4 cameras, while the controllers has this circle above.
Yep.
This circle has some, let's say, infrared lightning or something like that. Not quite sure about the technology, but the cameras are able to see them and use some image recognition to recognize your controller, and based on the some AI maybe.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought. Like it's literally using the cameras. Like there's no like Bluetooth or any other communication between the controllers and the headset.
Yes, actually, Oculus Go, which has only 3 degrees of freedom, doesn't have any cameras, but has an accelerometer in the controller, so it can track only the rotation. I believe that Quest maybe also use this as additional source of information about the rotation of the controller. And based on the image recognition as well, they are able to position it really well in the virtual world, just like in the actual world.
Got it.
Okay, so I'll now take the left hand and make a duplicate of it. I will hide the original left hand and maybe get this one a little bit above. Oh, the other one. So I'll call it left hand grab in order to recognize it here. So I'll move it a little above to see it better.
And also, like it just occurred to me, like the camera offset thing, like the height detection that that Quest has, that's important to show your hands like under you, like as you're looking down into your hands, right? Because otherwise, like if your angle of view is on the floor, your hands are going to show up like on the top.
Yes, the headset tracks your controller, so if you move them above your head, because the cameras are positioned in the angles, so they see a really large area, and if you move them above, it will detect them that they are raised above. So if you play something like Federbauer tennis, and your hand is above to reach the ball, they will be able to track you as well. Actually, these 4 cameras on the headsets do the whole stuff for the tracking in space, which is really awesome.
4 or 6? The Quest has 6, right?
No, actually there are 4.
4 on either side, either corner.
The Oculus Rift S, by the way, has 5. There is 4 in the corners and 1 below on the bottom side. Maybe the next device will have 6. Not sure, depending on what they need. They have already implemented the hand tracking with 4 cameras, so if it works good enough, they may stick to this.
Right.
We'll see. I expect them to release new headsets very soon.
Really? When was the
maybe
last
next year?
Next year? When was the last Quest update? Like last year or 2 years back?
Well, Quest was released May previous year, so
Okay.
it's more than a year since it was released. They promised that they want to make a new hardware soon, so that people can buy it and use it without needing to wait for the next one.
Right.
But I expect the 2 years are enough, and they will maybe release a new one next year, I suppose. There are some rumors in the Facebook groups about VR that I'm following, but they are rumors.
They are rumors. You did not hear it here.
No, not for sure. Okay, so we may see here the hand geometry. We have a hand world. We have here the index finger, the middle finger, the pinky finger, the ring, and the thumb. So we can try moving those fingers in order to simulate grab functionality.
Okay, how did you get those? Like it came with the prefab or came with the model?
They were in the model. In the
okay, they're in the model.
So Oculus were really nice to provide us this.
Yeah, this is real nice. Yeah.
So you can actually move every finger on three knuckles. So you may see here, I can use this thumb. I can move it a bit down, then move it on the other knuckle, and maybe the final one.
Yeah.
So it looks differently close based on what I do here with the z-axis rotation. Maybe this is enough, maybe even too much. I may return this to the original value. Okay, I think this is fine for this finger. I'll now get the index finger. We'll move them top to bottom. And I'll close it a bit here. Then we'll use the next rotation point and the final rotation point. So I almost touched the 2 fingers. Now let's see the middle finger.
So I have a curious question. Like, since it has those like the transform positions for and the rotations for each finger, like when you put on the controller and you actually try to move your fingers, like the X and Y change in real time, right? And then they bend around the axis of the knuckles, right?
I can, when I use the controller, the headset does not detect my fingers. So the original hands from the avatars provided by Oculus integration, they simply have several such positions of the fingers, and based on the input on the controllers, if you are touching some button, they are moving the finger to simulate that it touches this button. So they don't track it perfectly.
Yep.
However, if we use the hand tracking functionality, we get rid of the controllers, and then Oculus actually tracks your fingers. They provide an API. Actually, they have a real ready prefab provided from them, from their Oculus integration, that tracks the rotation of the fingers. So with every part of these fingers. So with the latest Oculus integration, the hand tracking provided by Oculus is really easy to integrate. So they have done it, and they give you a prefab and you simply use it. So they really try to make the stuff as easy as possible for the developers.
Yeah.
And which is awesome.
And could you like use the same hand model, like if you got rid of the controllers and just did hand tracking?
Yes,
Okay.
I can use it. Actually, I believe that the hand model Oculus provide for the hand tracking interface is the same. I cannot test it, but suppose that it's not different.
Yeah.
Just provides the additional logic that maps what the camera sees to what our fingers are positioned in the real world and in the virtual world as well. So I think I have managed to position these fingers.
Yeah.
So I will return now the Y to 0 because I have moved it in order to see the hand better. And I will move this to make one more prefab variant. So here will be left hand grab variant. I don't like the variant world, so I hide it, delete it actually. So now I have 2 hands for the left and right. For now, just to test, I'll keep the grab hand and see how it looks like in VR. So I'll put my headset again.
And then after this, like, feel free to take a sip of any liquid. I know you've been talking for like an hour.
Don't worry. I feel fine.
That's
Thank
good.
you. I have a bottle next to me
There you go.
if it's urgent.
Yeah, no, sometimes the chat room gets concerned about us and they ask us to hydrate.
Okay, thank
All
you.
right, so I see the
Well,
fingers
I
rolled
think
up.
it looks fine.
Yeah,
We can grab some
yeah.
tennis rackets with it if the time allows. Okay. So
Yeah, this is
now I
nice.
will write a little script that will allow us to show the correct hand.
What do you mean, show the correct hand? Oh, like the flat or versus the gripped.
Yes,
Okay,
depending on what I have pressed.
sure.
So maybe I'll hide both models. To remove it for now. Well, the minus of the Oculus Quest is that it's really heavy. So
It is heavy.
it's not good for long sessions.
Yeah, we have tried doing things in like all space VR, which is great. But like after an hour of wearing the headset, like you really feel it. Like it's just like bogging down on your head and the side of your ears.
Well, I believe that in the next version they will fix this.
Yeah.
I mean, it may be just the same heavy, but at least the balance should be
Yeah.
better because now
Yeah.
everything is on your
It does
face.
like drag the front down. Yes.
Actually, I've noticed that by putting my headset for
headphones.
listening now, headphones, yes, it helps with the balance.
Yeah.
I don't feel that pressure on the face.
Yeah.
So now we have the hand script.
Okay, I gotta highlight a few things that our good friend Lance is saying here. So, where is it? Huh. Is that not working today? Give me 1 second. Okay, my chat highlighting thing does not seem like it's liking me today. Let me try again.
So
yeah,
I can now use.
Yeah, sorry, Lance, in the chat room. I was trying to highlight your messages, but it's not quite working with me. But Lance was saying like it depends on the headset, like how well balanced it is, and looks like Lance has 3 different models. Yeah, Lance, let us know which ones you have, because all I have is just the Quest, and I'm sure like Deyan and we have a little like VR shelf in the office, right? Deyan, do we still have that? Like where we have all of the VR head or mixed reality headsets in one
Yes,
corner.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I
We
like.
have this shelf.
Yeah, I like that. So I mean, the folks at the office they probably have many more handsets or headsets, but I only have one, and it's great. I mean, the Oculus is great, but it's a little heavy.
Actually, Oculus Rift S is well balanced. It's really comfortable for long sessions. I have one at home and have used it for hours, no problem.
Nice, 4 hours.
But it is lighter because it doesn't have battery and so on. It only has display because it is always tethered to the PC. So let's try to find 2 packages because I'll need to grab some items with the hands. I will search here, no packages. I want to use the preview packages and we'll look for maybe legacy input helpers. This one is installed, I think. And I need XR interaction toolkit. So this is the new toolkit provided by Unity. It's really great because previously if you need to implement some laser pointer teleport or grab functionality, you have to choose an SDK, and it's not always cross-platform and easy to adapt. While with the latest 2 versions of Unity, some months ago, they introduced this interaction toolkit for VR, and it allows us to use built-in interactions provided by Unity. They are in preview. They have some issues, but generally they work fine. So
Nice.
they will make them better in the future release, I'm sure. But for now, they are great. So we have this interaction toolkit. Now on the left controller, I would like to add an XR controller script. This will be used later in order to add the grab functionality. So here the controller node should be left hand because I'll be using it on the left controller here. And I would like to use the grip in order to grab some items. So that is great. Now I can set in my script, I can add an attribute, require component, type of.
Then, if you don't mind, just like bump up your font size just one point in Visual Studio,
Okay.
please. Yep. Just like Control
better?
plus. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I can move it a bit also. Okay. I think maybe this is fine. Do you see now?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So let me see how this script was called. XR controller. So XR controller. Great.
And since I cannot highlight messages for some reason today, Lance in the chat room was saying Samsung Odyssey is his favorite right now. The next one is the new HP one coming out in fall 2020. I have not seen or played at all with the Samsung Odyssey. Have you, Deyan?
Yes, we actually had the old version in our office. We have tested it for. We were taking part in MS Build conference maybe previous year, and we needed to adapt our demos for Windows Mixed Reality headsets in order to demonstrate them on the conference. So yes, we have tested it. Yes, it was working fine. I believe that the new one is much better even. So here I will use the awake function. This when we have a mono behavior script in Unity, we cannot add constructors because Unity serializes these classes, and they make sure that the awake method is called just once, and it is suitable for using it for initialization, just like C# constructor. So here I would like to have an input device, which is the left controller device. So Unity provides API where I can get this input device and see if some button is pressed on it. So in the awake method, I can say input devices, get device at XR node, and first I will get the XR controller script, which is required to be on the same object. So I will take the XR controller here I will name it left device to be
In the
less
chat room,
confusing.
Team Ultra Hell. Oh, hey, good to see you again. So if you're just joining us here in the chat room, folks, we are writing a VR world where that we can use to kind of hang out and have like a social VR event after a day of a conference. And we're trying to replicate a little bit of our offices in Europe, which have like a beautiful game room. So we got flooring, we got lighting, we got ping pong, and today Deyan has been doing hand tracking and with a controller, and we're trying to pick up something.
So we have input devices. This is the left device. So the devices may be loaded and unloaded because when we have the awake method, the device may still not be loaded and it may be invalid. And also we may have tracking lost or battery down and so on. So we may attach to an event, put devices, device connected, and also input devices, device disconnected. So we may also use the destroy in order to detach from these events. And whenever the device is connected, so I don't like the name left name. It may be left, it may be right, so it will be device. And so
Let me see if I have my ability to highlight messages again. Something is not working on my end. Yeah. Today, websites and extensions are not our friend. I cannot highlight messages. But anyways, Team Ultra Hell, I hear you. Looks like you are having another fun day with Visual Studio and hunting down bugs. No, don't give up hope, Team Ultra Hell. It's every day. Sometimes we sleep over things and things get a little better. Lance, what are we using for the ML model? Do you mean machine learning, or are you talking to us or Ultra Hell?
I haven't said anything. If you or okay, let's try for now. If we get the device, so in the I should be able to check if the device is having the same node as our node, but I will check later how to get the node from some device. It used to be the row.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's say if we're going to add so input device characteristics. The new way to track if our device is what we need. So if we have touchpad.
And I didn't even realize the time we have gone a little over. So let's try to wrap up. It's good. Let's finish up what you're doing here.
Okay, if the device is left hand, then we are going to say that the device characteristics are left. Else if we have right hand, then we have the right. So we can now check that
Chat room is having fun here. Lance, our good friend, that's amazing. Like he has an ML AI model to know when the toilet needs to be flushed. With the cat around, yeah, I hear that. That's fun.
so what I have done is that we first get the device and we get whatever device characteristics, if it's left device or right device. And then I'm going to check when a device is connected or disconnected. And if the disconnected device matches our characteristics, it means that our device is disconnected. I'm going to set it as default because input device is a structure and it cannot be set as no. So we have the invalid device now. And if it is connected, the same device, we are going to set it on our variable. So this way we make sure that our device field is always up to date, and if we have a valid left controller, we'll be able to get the button from it. So now in the update function, I'm going to check if we are grabbing the grip button. So Boo is grabbing. Will be this device is valid, and this device try get feature value, common usages, grip button. So we have based on the different headsets, some report grip button pressed like a boolean, is either pressed or not, and some report it as float value. So when it is a float value, you know exactly how much it is pressed. So I'll make it maybe this way. If we have a valid device, and if we can get the boolean function, and it is actually true. Or we have common usages grip without float grip value, and the grip value is greater about some value. So it is between 0 and 1, and if you want to say that our grip button is pressed good enough, we might say that it is 70% pressed, for instance. So now we have, if we have a valid device, and if this device provides a true boolean value, or if this device provides a float value which is greater than 70%. So this would say that we are grabbing, and now we have the two objects above, the open hand and the grab hand model. So this grab hand model set active. I'll make them game objects instead of transforms, because I'll be able to set if they are active or not. So if we are grabbing, we need to activate the grab hand model, and the open hand model is just the opposite. If we are not grabbing, it will be visible. So if I'm lucky, because it's a live demo, I'll be able to attach the script. Let me see. Okay. Unity recompiled, and now on the left controller, I will add my script, which was called hand. So the hand script requires the open hand model and the left hand grab model. These are the two serializable fields. And like I said, if I'm lucky, this should be working on the left hand. So let me check.
Let's try.
Let's press play. So now I have the left hand, and when I press the grip button, now I'm pressing it, I can see that the hand is closing, and otherwise it is open.
Perfect.
Currently works only on my left hand, but we'll make it very quickly work on the right as well, because we can just mirror the hand.
I love it. I love it. So now it'll be coming down to like maybe next week, like when we pick up an object, like we have to check like on the size of it, and if it does fit the hand, and you can sense the grip, then we can transform the position of that object and actually really throw it around and do whatever else we want with it.
Well, yes, actually, most of the VR games even don't position the hand precisely. They are either intersect the object or simply hide the hand while the object is grabbed in order to avoid sort of the confusion of intersecting hand. But it can be done this way, just with a bit more code.
Yeah, actually, you're right. I think like Alt Space VR does that exact same thing. Like when you pick it up, like they take the hand away and just let you deal with that object.
It's a bit of a hassle to make it precisely. And, currently, VR is not in this state when everything is perfect.
Yeah, right.
Even the biggest applications which are now in the VR stores.
Yeah. All right, I love it. I love how you're able to bring in the hand model today. I love how you're able to control it and align it just right. And I love how you are able to bring your hands together and your fingers touch. And then obviously the grip part, we're just getting started. So very cool. So then, anything else you wanted to mention about all the things we did today?
Well, yes, I was supposed to put just one script, which was the direct interactor coming from this plugin.
I like that plugin.
And it would be able to grab some object. So if I place a cube in front of me now, I'll be able to grab it with this direct interactor, for instance. So this is the next step if we decide to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's take it on next week. And Team Ultra Hell, Lance, you folks are having a wonderful conversation. I do not have the ability to highlight messages today. I don't know why. But it looks like there's some fun stuff we're doing with ML and AI. Learning engine for children with disabilities like autism. Yeah, that's great. I will definitely look into that. All right, so we went over an hour. We normally try, but this is fun, and when you're having fun, time flies. So, Deyan, I want to thank you a lot. I know you were just like brought into this project just by looking at the repo that Pana had checked in. So it's great that you're able to just jump in and add the hands and add the interactions, and we can just like take things from exactly where we left off today next week.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right.
I was really happy to be able to join.
Yeah, I love it, and every time you put on your VR and like on top of it with your headset, with your headphones, it looks like so futuristic. So,
yes,
that's great. All right, folks, that's it. I think from us for this Unity Tuesday. We love you all, as you know. So come and hang out with us whenever your time permits throughout the week, and we shall see you next time. All right, cool. And bye-bye.
Okay. Thanks for me too.